You won't believe what's next. Nervous, but seeing them idle, I'll give it my all. After some thought, I hopped into their car. Outside was a storm, but inside it was quieter than a tomb. I felt like everyone was out to get me. They made me get out as we neared, and I pleaded they spare the Lie couple and my family. They merely reminded me that it was futile because there was no signal on phones or landlines tonight. I hobbled home on my injured leg, like a drunken sailor, and failed to realize how familiar this scene was. Turns out, I was the one I saw with the telescope, just like in the vision. They took out the dog first, then disabled the alarms of the list. I rushed home, yelling to get everyone ready to escape, but Judy and the kids just blanked me. I told Lie how the fire from Susa were armed, but seeing flames inside, I knew it was too late. I urged them to leave, but Judy and the kids stood firm, believing the 2 hospital cops would protect them. "Dad, I trust you," he said. If Marina entered that door, we had to take her to hospital. No matter how I described the impending disaster, they stayed indifferent. Seeing this, I was utterly hopeless and was about to throw in the towel. But just then, a scene outside left everyone stunned. Oh my goodness, it started raining. This scene was a carbon copy. But now, realizing it was too late, there was a sudden barrage of intense knocking at the door. Everything seemed to play out just like I described. It had begun. The wheels were already spinning. After opening the door, it was Marina. This scene felt too familiar to persuade them to leave. The storm outside looked scarier than I imagined. The fight across the street intensified, and we saw someone driving over. "Quick, get moving." I urged Judy to take the kids and leave. Just then, a red van unexpectedly stopped right at the door. This was nothing like what I saw in my vision. I distinctly remembered that earlier, armed people had gotten out of the car. Why was it suddenly so still? The cop approached slowly to check, and when the mask was off, the glasses man had already died. I went back inside. Judy hadn't left with the kids. She was saving Marina. Subtitles. I told Judy that a person who wanted to kill us was dead, but little did I realize there was still a young guy waiting for us behind. Just when things looked dire, the walkie-talkie crackled with Leo's voice. Thank heavens, he was alive. Leo informed us that these were Susa's hitmen, and he had taken care of all 5 of them. Turns out Leo not only caught wind of my gossip, but was also prepped with Grandpa's trusty hunting rifle. He hadn't slept a wink all night until that moment someone barged into the house, spotting the downed dog and farmers outside. He quickly geared up and was ready for a showdown. But Leo claimed he had no clue how Maria got hurt. Not realizing he was injured too, he begged us to hurry because he was bleeding out. Meanwhile, Bruno seemed to be slipping back into the daze, sensing that the masked man was getting closer. I decided to bring 2 cops along to rescue Leo. We rolled into the house, and the first thing we saw was 2 bodies, definitely not what I envisioned. Ascending to the 2nd floor, things felt even murkier with 2 more bodies sprawled out haphazardly. Leo was nowhere to be found and didn't respond, while the masked man was closing in. Just then, the female officer noticed that the dead dog was wagging its tail again. When she got closer, we realized the dog wasn't dead, it just got a little too much anesthesia. The truth was nearing, and the officers felt uneasy only to discover one of the bodies was their own colleague. Even stranger, the man who had fallen in the bathroom was not Leo at all, but rather some individual dressed in Leo's clothes. Subtitles. Bruno finally saw the true face of the masked man, and lo and behold, it turned out Leo was the main villain. After sorting us all out, Leo unveiled his true face. He was the infamous drug lord Susa, who spun so many tales to evade the law that he almost forgot who he really was. Marie wasn't even involved with his drug operations, she was just an ordinary painter. Unfortunately, these years they lived under constant threat. The huge pressure led Maria to have a premature birth, tragically resulting in their son's death. Subtitles. From that moment onward, they made a pact to vanish together and never engage in the drug trade again. Over the past few years, the organization has sent individuals here annually to give him his share of the profits, but tonight's tragedy has changed everything. Leo got hurt while shooting at the glasses guy, and neither of them spilt the beans on their true identities. Maria, I couldn't deceive you. It's not that simple. Leo apologized, stating he didn't want this to happen, but you know how fate is, it's unchangeable. Times ill after locking me up, Leo called the drug cartel to handle things, and a car arrived at my house. I recognized it was my ex-wife, but seeing this moment, I was utterly hopeless. Leo had put on the mask. Subtitles. He picked up the police sniper rifle and smoothly drove the van. Subtitles. So it turns out that this was precisely the scene I witnessed in my vision, but unfortunately, the vehicle just wouldn't start no matter what. Upon hearing the sound, Leo immediately rushed over with the gun in hand. Let's go. Shoot. Don't hesitate. Shoot. Do not stop now.